Welcome back to the podcast. We're now on episode 3. The first episode, we went over Nick Saban's teaching progression and how using video games, specifically NCAA 26, and the one that it's been pretty fun to play. Again, fun being a big part of the teaching process. Number 2 was we went over the setup of practice, how you set it up in the video game. So if you missed that episode and you're wondering how we set it up, go back, check out episode 2. And then we deep dove into Y-Cross. Now we're going over 4 Verts. 4 Verts, interesting play in high school. It takes a special type of quarterback to really make true 4 verticals work, special type of receiving core. And I would argue that defenses today, with a lot of the match principles, have made it that much harder. So we don't necessarily teach 4 verts in that sense. We teach it as a family of plays. But I think it's really important for high school quarterbacks to have a true rhythm, a ball that is thrown off the last step in the drop. In this case, we're going to take a 3-step drop, and the ball is out on the end of 3 steps. If it's not out at that point, whatever play you're running, the quarterback needs to know that their clock is ticking, and they need to find and accelerate to their read route or perhaps their rush route. That's terminology used by the R4 guys. I think it's one of the best ways to explain things to a high school brain, as well as a coaching staff. I think it's a really logical, good way to explain it. It's not for everybody. Not everybody's a progression read like that. They use terms like routes are capped or uncapped, meaning is the route side space, the side that the route is supposed to be caught on, is that space capped by a defender? That's all really great terminology, and we use that. It's wonderful. But going into 4 verts, it's not designed necessarily with those reads. And so when we teach it as stop or go. And if you haven't hit your stop or your go route on the end of your 3rd step drop, you're hitching to find a dig, usually, or your back. Those are the 2, that's the progression we use. Let's dig into stop left. All right, so in stop left, we start by using a 4 vert situation. In this case, we're using Ole Miss's playbook today. I love Ole Miss's playbook. It's very similar to something that we'll put out on the channel here is our custom playbook for you to download if you want to follow along at home. But we're going to use a dime defense today because we're in true 10 personnel spread. This play doesn't need to be a play run by true 10 personnel spread. You can really run this, especially the way we teach it, in really any personnel situation. Today we're just working in 10 personnel, and we're working a true spread look. So the thing about the video games is most of them are not going to break down the play with a true rhythm read rush, with a true progression read, like we would at the high school level. So you do need to use hot routes. We covered hot routes in the last episode. Today we're going to hot route the left receiver, outside receiver, and the right outside receiver. We're running stop left. So we're going to tell the left outside receiver, in this case square, to run a 10-yard stop. And this game calls it a curl. In fact, a lot of people call it a curl. So you flick the left stick down, and now we have a stop. So by itself here, we now have a rhythm route set up. But again, I think the high school brain needs to know when this route is capped, the route side space, usually by an undercutting a slot defender, whether that's a Sam nickel type guy, star, whatever your defense calls it. So if that guy's capped, we have to have a way to get out of this play. And so let's go ahead and take the circle receiver, who would be the R or the Z, depending on your terminology, and we're going to hot route him to run a dig. This sets up a shape like this, and this is the shape that we're looking for when we're teaching stop and go. You could also use a dagger concept and change it up with hot routes. That might even be a better way to do it. The quarterback should be verbalizing stop, dig, back. In this case, we have the back staying in for 6-man protection, and then he will free release through the B gap. This is a way we would do things at the high school level as well. Sometimes we'll free release him if we feel like that might help open the dig, or if we're trying to get him in space and we feel like we have a chance to get the ball to him. But let's right now work stop, dig, back. Here we go. Stop is there, I'm taking it, boom. Most often this play will consistently hit the stop. We have press. This suggests to the quarterback instantly the stop route's gonna be harder to throw. It's man coverage. Let's see if we can beat man with this. I like it. We have the leverage for it, and there we go, stop route. Again, it's a 10-yard hitch, 10-yard curl, however you want, whatever your offense calls it. I think is it doesn't matter for what your offense calls it. But we 3-step drop to a 10-yard stop to the called receiver. So this would be stop left. Again, it's a pretty simple, quick rhythm pass. It's almost a quick pass in that nature. Okay, just keep hitting that. Uh-oh, what just happened? I threw an interception. It was capped. The quarterback needs to have that read route, the next route to accelerate to. So let's go ahead and make sure that he is set. Stop, undercut, dig. And we're looking for that window there. One of the things you can do in this play is swing your back to the dig side. It becomes kind of a curl flat stretch. It's not a curl, obviously, it's a dig. But this way, you can draw a linebacker and open up space for the dig receiver away from stop. Let's see if we can get any traction on that. Stop, dig. So you saw right there how the flat defender had to widen with that back. And if he doesn't widen with the back, then you have a quick check down to the back. So now we're in a trips look. We've respotted the ball, left hash 40. We're now in a trips, and nothing changes. You still do your hot routes. We're still going to convert the left receiver, the square, to the curl the curl stop. We're going to convert the circle receiver. He's going to run a dig. And so now we have the shape that we had before. Now the capture routes are coming from the slot. We didn't talk about capture routes when we were in 2x2, but basically a capture route is when the slot receiver is trying to go grab, get the attention, run across the face of the safety, so the safety can't double team the stop or the dig. It's kind of a protective route. We'll talk about how we utilize them in moments. Let's go ahead and just run a couple plays of stop left out of trips. We saw that the route was about to be undercut, the stop route, so we went right to our dig. Another good example of where a lot of field space can really help out in the play. Stop, we got pressure, we're right to the stop. Again, same deal as the 2x2. And again, this kind of opens it up. It doesn't have to be 3x1. It could be some type of pro style. You can have two backs in the backfield. You could really just do this with two receivers. As long as the quarterback has a stop, a dig, and a back, and he can work through and verbalize that from play side to back side, he's good to go. Let's say I want to run a stop from our slot receiver, who in this case we're going to use as R1, Lee, right there. So let's go ahead and set his route to be a stop route. Okay, now he's good. Now let's go ahead and make our dig route come from the number one receiver, opposite side from the stop, which in this case is square or the left or the X, however you want to look at that guy. So my progression is stop, dig, back, and I'm gonna send my back out. Stop, I like it, take it, good. It's almost like stick. In many ways, it's like a deep stick when you run it this way. But I think there's probably more bang for buck than running stick because you still have a very clear progression for the quarterback. So he is stop, dig, back. Stop, dig. I want to hit my dig coming from the number one away from the stop side. What about going deep? It's for Verts, coach. You're absolutely right. So all we do is we call go left. The receiver runs a go, and the backside outside receiver is now gonna run the dig into that shape there. And so the quarterback is still going go, dig, back. It's the same as teaching progression. The only difference now is what side space is capped. In this case, we're looking deep and vertical. We want to take a shot. We're looking for safeties that can't help. Sometimes we're just looking for the one-on-one shot. You know, a big consideration of running the spread is, do you have an elite receiver? who either takes a double team or who can win over 50% of the 50-50 balls. I don't see it as a 50-50 ball if that guy's gonna go win. So let's go ahead and run this. We're running go, dig, back. Here we go, go, don't like it, dig, got it. Oh, he heated me up, still got it off, what a play. Go Ole Miss. So let's talk about the back now. The back on this, I think he's set default by the game. Purple means that he's gonna check release to the flat to the right. Good move like that. You might wanna flip him. You could motion him to the other side, do something like this. So right now we're probably not in our go. It looks like there's safety help over the top. We're pretty much gonna get out of that pretty fast and get right into our dig back. Go, dig, back. Hit the dig. Oh, make the grab. All right, so now let's talk go to the slots. So go to the slots is not different. The only thing I would do in the video game is instead of having them do this route, I might just send them, I might hot route them on a go. It'll look a little bit more like this. I'm gonna run slot go. We're gonna keep the X or the H receiver. It's kind of confusing because the button X is for the H, right? We're gonna keep him running his capture route, trying to get covered by the safety. We're trying to set up a one-on-one situation for R1. It's almost a little bit more like old school Verts, where we're looking for the slot receivers. Now, what we are gonna do though is change some things up. If we're a number one receiver on the outside, let's save some legs and not take that corner with us. So let's go ahead and bring him. He's gonna run a stop. He's really not catching the ball here. It's a leg saver. You can almost run a 5-yard hitch potentially. But we still wanna make sure that we have the dig coming from the number one on the far side. So this is the shape we're gonna get into. We're looking for slot go right now, not slot fade. This is a vertical route. We're not slot. You could run the slot fade this way, I suppose. We connect slot fade with crosser like we showed last episode. But let's go and try this. Let's see if we can get any traction on slot go with Ole Miss versus Ole Miss. Go. And so here's more of a traditional 4 verts throw that might be on a line. Probably if you're running slot go, you're running something where the safety can't help. We're trying to set up a one-on-one when we run slot go with the slot defender, who's usually more of a linebackery nickel back type guy. And we're gonna put a speedster or someone who can really take the top off in that slot. Okay, so now I've gone in, and because I will call slot go when there's not a lot of safety help, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a situation where there's not gonna be as much safety help and pressure's coming. We've gotten out of the defensive random play, and now we're selecting, we want to just go dime, and let's send pressure off both edge, okay? So here we now have a more cover zero type look, which is going to be when you're, a good time to call slot go is a look like this. Safety can't really help. If he is, he's manned up on him and he's under 10. We're thinking home run shot right now. This looks really, really good for slot go. One consideration in a look like this is that you might want to keep your back in, especially if you're looking for that shot and you anticipate pressure coming. So we're going to go and hot route the running back so that he is in protection as well. Taking that shot, one-on-one with the safety, worked out there. Again, this is a very similar mindset. Do you have the one receiver who can't be beat? Another thing you can do, in addition to changing the defensive play, is you can change how the defense will play in general. So I can change my safety depth to tight. I can change the defense's distance for what they call their curl flat zone. Like how deep is that going to be? What's their no cover zone? So you can do a lot of customization of your defense in this play. And you're playing a team that wants to bring pressure, load the box. However, get that guy out there, run the go. You can clearly also do this with the H, who could be a receiver in this case. So we're gonna run him on a go. When we run him on a go, the capture on both sides are just gonna be stop routes. Again, this is designed just to keep the legs fresh. We don't need to be running MORs with our dudes if they are running capture routes necessarily. So the shape of the play is gonna look something like this. Again, we know there's pressure coming. Let's go and hot route the back so he pass blocks. So now we have H go or number 3 go or whoever you put there, whatever your letter designation is. We're now gonna run go to our letter X, which is the button, not the receiver designation. I do understand that. Let's see how that works out. 50-50 ball. We didn't win that one. Again, we should be calling this play two receivers that are gonna win the majority of what we would call 50-50 balls. Are you throwing them to Randy Moss? I think Randy Moss, if you got the Moss, give Randy Moss the one-on-one chance. 2-on-1, no, but one-on-one, especially with a DB who may or may not be a cornerback. You know, you can cheat your personnel here. Put your best player into that spot. Do some things like that. Get the ball out quickly for the quarterback, and we have a one-on-one look. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about 4 verts today using video games. You know, again, we don't really run a 4 verts in high school. I think it takes maybe a bit more intuition and a little bit of luck to get a quarterback and a receiving core, a good 4 verts situation. With that said, I think how you use 4 verts and create tags out of 4 verts. Again, we just have a stop and go. Backside receiver knows he's running a dig. The called guy is doing it what he's supposed to do. Everybody else is running their form of capture out. I think when you do that, you can build complexity into something pretty simple. You can't just sit on you start to mix in double moves and hitch and goes at 10, the break point, and good stuff happens. So we'll catch you next time here on Rocket Boost Coaching.